Picture this, a 15-year-old drill rapper by the name of Lil Queso, a kid who was just starting to catch fire in Chicago's underground, found dead execution style in his own home. No break-in, no robbery, no struggle, just a bullet to the head while he was sitting in a chair. The most heartbreaking part? His mom was the one who walked in after work, only to find her son lifeless, blood on the floor, and the whole scene screaming betrayal. The news coverage makes you wonder just how valuable human life is to these young Chicago dudes.
This was someone's son, someone's brother, someone's whole world, and now their family is left to endure an unimaginable loss.
At first, everybody thought this had to be about the beef he had with Fullychop. You guys probably remember when Queso went viral for getting robbed, humiliated, and even clowned online after Fullychop flexed his stolen gun on social media. The disrespect was heavy, and the streets figured that was the kind of beef that could end in a body. But when rumors started flooding social media, within hours of Queso's death, two names kept popping up: Fullychop and his so-called best friend, Lil Speedy, the same kid who was always in the vlogs with him, rapping side by side, laughing on IG lives, moving like brothers. Turns out that whole friendship might have been nothing but a mask for betrayal. The wildest part is that Fullychop just got caught in a jail fight over Lil Queso's murder, and for a little while, Speedy was out here practically confessing online. At this point, it's obvious that in Chicago's trenches, loyalty doesn't always matter. Legacy does. The fastest way to earn your stripes sometimes means putting a bullet in someone you love. What nobody expected, though, was that the real enemy wasn't outside his house. He was sitting right next to him.
16. I was trying to play basketball, but that's around the time I ain't make the varsity team. So at 16 was when I was realizing this shit real. I don't know what the I'm gonna do. Cause you know, after that point, it's like once you don't make that team, it's a...
Chicago's drill scene has always been bigger than just music. It's survival disguised as art. The whole culture is built on violence, betrayal, and clout. In this world, clout ain't just about likes or followers. It's the currency of respect. And the only way to really earn it, put in work. That's why every diss track, every Instagram live, and every street rumor carries weight, because behind the music are real-life bodies, betrayals, and unfinished wars. For Lil Speedy, this was the only reality he knew. His pops never made it out, taken by the same environment that was now pulling Speedy in. With no father to guide him, Speedy turned to his cousin, Lil Jeff, a certified name in the Bloodhound gang. Jeff wasn't just family, he was a symbol of power, a blueprint of how to make a name in the trenches, and Speedy wanted that respect just as bad. To him, becoming Bloodhound wasn't an option. It was the only way out of being a nobody. But there was one problem. He had no stripes of his own, and in Chicago, the fastest way to build a name is with a body. On the other side of this story, Lil Queso was moving completely different. By just 14, he had already started turning heads in the drill scene. His bold energy, viral moments, and loud personality made him stand out. From flexing on live to taunting ops and even running at cops on camera, Queso was building clout like it was second nature. But that same energy was dangerous. It brought fans, but it also built enemies. And in Chicago, enemies never stay quiet for long. And that's when Fullychop stepped in, pushing the tension even further. The spark that lit the fuse between Lil Queso and Fullychop came from a robbery. Word on the streets was that Queso had hit someone tied to Fullychop's crew, and in Chicago's drill politics, that kind of move doesn't go unanswered. Not long after, Fullychop flipped the script. He had an older dude get his hands on Queso's gun and wasted no time turning it into a public spectacle. Fullychop went online, flexing the weapon, mocking Queso, and straight up calling him a fraud. And in a culture where clout is everything, losing your gun to an op isn't just embarrassing, it's career-ending. The internet dragged Queso, screenshots spread, and suddenly, the kid who had been climbing up fast was being laughed at like a rookie. Queso didn't stay quiet though. He hopped on live, cursing, denying he got robbed, and throwing threats back at Chop and his circle. But the damage was already done. In drill culture, perception is power, and right then, the perception was that Fullychop had sunned him. And there's more to it. Another drill rapper, Anthony Smith, aka Q50, with a Lil 50, posted a video on their story mocking Lil Queso, showing off Queso's stolen gun while taunting him. In response, Lil Queso posted a video asking who had his stolen gun, stating that no one would admit to having it. Queso also uploaded a screenshot of a chat between him and another dude involved, Lil Kso, explaining what had happened. On the same day, Queso received a shot spotter alert, which could have been linked to his attempt at revenge. But in any case, 2 days before Lil Queso's would lose his life, Fullychop posted a video on Instagram showing himself and others holding firearms outside Queso's Queso's house, aiming at it. Q50, Speed involvement. Now, it wasn't long before this back and forth between Queso and the other group would turn deadly. One of the dudes who was dissing Queso, Q50, with a Lil 50, was gunned down in a Chicago alley. People started wondering if it was Queso, but around the time Q lost his life, Queso was in a youth detention center. However, it wasn't long before a name was tied to Q's body. It came out that Lil Speedy, Queso's homie, could be the man behind the trigger, and they say it was because of betrayal. And that's how we come to the story of Queso and Speedy. On the surface, Lil Kso and Lil Speedy looked inseparable. They were side by side on socials, and to the outside world, it looked like two kids navigating the trenches as brothers, building clout hand in hand. But in the Chicago trenches, appearances don't mean much. December 4th, 2024 proved that. That night, Queso was chilling at his crib with a group of teens he trusted, including Speedy. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Then, without warning, Speedy pulled out a gun and aimed it at his so-called best friend. One shot to the head, execution style. No fight, no struggle, no last words. The scene that followed was chaos, but not the kind you'd expect. Nobody called for help. Instead, the teens bolted, leaving the doors wide open and even dropping a phone as they ran. The house was silent, except for Queso's lifeless body slumped in a chair. An hour later, Queso's mom came home from work. She walked into the nightmare, her baby boy gone, blood on the floor, shell casings inside and out. She called the police and told them there was a lot of blood inside the residence. Authorities found nearly a dozen shell casings in the parking lot outside Queso's home. There were even efforts at CPR, but they were unsuccessful. Queso was pronounced dead on arrival. The streets didn't stay quiet for long. News of the murder spread instantly. But what shocked everyone wasn't just that Queso was taken out, it was also about who had done it and who was in on it. Speedy and Fullychop. To see their friendship turn into a setup was a betrayal that hit harder than any ops bullet ever could. Some said it was about a weed dispute, others whispered about respect, but the loudest theory in the streets was simple. Speedy killed Queso to earn his bloodhound stripes. In their world, the bolder the betrayal, the bigger the name. If the streets were stunned by the news of Lil Queso's murder, they were even more shocked by what came next. Instead of laying low, Lil Speedy seemed to celebrate it. Just hours after the news broke, he posted a story with 3 hat emojis in Chicago slang. 3 hats means 3 bodies. It was his way of flexing that Queso was just another notch on his belt. The timing wasn't subtle, and the message was clear. From there, Speedy kept fanning the flames. He went live on Instagram, spitting lyrics that sounded like confessions, even laughing at comments calling him Queso's killer. But it wasn't just the internet talking. Streets started weighing in too. Jada, the sister of Q50, who had been killed earlier in the feud, hinted that Speedy had backdoored Queso. She didn't name him directly, but the way she worded it had everyone connecting the dots. And when locals, rappers, and even fans started echoing the same suspicion, it was almost like the streets had spoken. Speedy was the one who pulled the trigger, so why would he do it? People tossed around theories. Some said it was over a petty weed deal gone wrong. Others claimed it was an argument about respect. But the most consistent explanation was the one that fit best with Speedy's story. This was his initiation into Bloodhound. To him, taking out Queso wasn't just payback or personal beef. It was a way to earn his stripes and step into the same lane as his cousin, Lil Jeff, who was already a certified name in the gang. In the trenches, clout and legacy matter more than loyalty, and Speedy wanted both. And that's where the politics flipped. Fullychop, the same guy who had humiliated Queso just weeks earlier, suddenly showed Speedy love online. Posts, reactions, and even indirect shoutouts made it clear Speedy had the cosign. That changed everything. With Chop's stamp, Speedy went from being a backdoor snake in people's eyes to a respected young savage with ties on both sides. The alliances were shifting, and Speedy was standing in the middle of it all. For all the noise this backdoor created online, the legal system has been dead silent. For months, no one has been charged for Lil Queso's death. Chicago police confirmed the scene looked like a targeted hit. Clean, quiet, no signs of forced entry. But without surveillance footage inside the home, and with every witness gone the moment shots rang out, there was nothing to build a case on. And as you guys probably know, in the trenches, silence is the code. Nobody talks, even when they know who did it, because the second you speak up, you're labeled a snitch, and that title is a death sentence in itself. But that all changed not too long ago. The case finally broke wide open in July 2025. Both Fullychop and Lil Speedy were officially arrested in connection with the murder of Lil Queso. For Queso's family, especially his mom, it felt like a small step toward justice after months of heartbreak and unanswered questions. Fullychop was the first to fall. On July 14th, police pulled him over in what looked like just a routine routine traffic stop, expired tags, suspended license, basic street violations. But when the cops ran his name, they found something bigger, a pending murder warrant tied directly to the December 2024 killing of Lil Queso. Within minutes, Chop was in cuffs, facing charges he couldn't laugh off online. 2 days later, Lil Speedy was picked up outside a Walgreens store. Witnesses say cops swarmed him fast, locking him down before he could even react. Reports from inside the jail later revealed he was facing weapons charges on top of murder charges, connecting him right back to the shooting that left Queso dead. What made the arrests even crazier were the rumors that followed. Streets started whispering that Fullychop might have snitched. Some pointed to a live stream where he admitted to giving up Queso's location before the hit. Others claimed his reckless social media posts, taunting, flexing, and indirectly incriminating himself, gave investigators all they needed. Meanwhile, Speedy's own downfall was tied to evidence left behind. Police connected shell casings at the scene, the abandoned phone dropped when everyone ran, and his own Instagram activity bragging about 3 hats. All of it painted a picture too messy to ignore. By the time both Chop and Speedy were behind bars, the streets felt the shift. What had once been just rumors and IG lives turned into court cases, mugshots, and jail talk. The arrests didn't just confirm suspicions. They showed how the mix of betrayal, clout chasing, and reckless posting had finally caught up to them. The murder of Lil Queso wasn't just another tragic loss in the drill scene. It became a turning point. It showed how fast loyalty can be weaponized, how betrayal can double as clout, and how a single act of violence can completely redraw the politics of a neighborhood.